Good morning, welcome back. So just before we start, I'll just let you know that today's video is F-bomb free. Some of you DM'd me and asked me to keep the F-bombs down or try and keep my potty mouth under control, basically, because you'd like to watch these videos with your kids. So yeah, today I'm going to do my best, and if one or two leak out, then I'll edit them out in the edit. So yeah, just to let you know. Okay, cool. Right, today we've come around to Borrowdale. We're going to do a partial recce of the Borrowdale Fell Race, which takes place August 5th. So that's coming up in a few weeks' time. I've got myself, as per usual, the race map from Pete Bland. All the instructions are on the back. I kind of failed to appreciate that on the other recce routes or recce videos I've been doing. Of course, all the information's on the back, which is a salient point to note. So all the cut-offs for this route are on the back here. So this fell race is a category AL, Alpha Lima. It is a distance of 17 miles with an elevation profile of 2,100 meters. And it says here on the back of this card that Billy Bland holds the record, 1982, of 2 hours and 34 minutes. That's well, he smashed a lot of records for these fell races. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not, that still doesn't stand, so yeah. So the race starts in Rosthwaite. I'm not parked there, FYI, I'm parked around the corner. But today's route, I'm doing a partial recce of this route. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to go up to Scafell Pike and come back via the corridor route, because I'm pretty well acquainted with that part of the course. However, I'm not so well acquainted with going up and down Glaramara. I keep pronouncing that incorrectly. Glaramara. It's one of those fells that just keeps on giving, you know, especially when the clag's in. It's so easy to get lost up there. It all looks the same. And so basically I've come up really to recce the route over Glaramara. Then I'm going to drop down to Styhead Tarn, the stretcher box down there, head up to Great Gable. Going to come off Great Gable. I'm quite well acquainted with that section of it. But then coming round Green Gable, down to Honister Hause, up onto Dale Head, and then back into Rosthwaite. That's the section I'm not so good on. You know, I've covered that ground before, but finding the lines, one of the things I'm finding with these fell races is I do the recce and I think, oh yeah, that was a good line. I do the fell race, follow everyone else. I went, my God, I didn't find that line when I came up to do the recce. So yeah, anywho, let's get on with what we're doing today. So as I've explained, we're going up over Glaramara. We're finding the line up to Bessie Boot, which is the first checkpoint. The first cut-off is Styhead Stretcher box. So of course you're going over Glaramara, going up to Recce House, the stone shelter up there. That's one checkpoint. Yep, Recce House shelter. Next checkpoint, Scafell Pike summit. Then you're coming back off Scafell Pike down the corridor route to Styhead Tarn. And so that first cut-off there is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah. I know what, rather than me gassing in front of the camera here, let's have a look at this map now. Yeah, so as I was saying, the route starts in Rosthwaite, and then it's flagged up until I think around this point here. So the first part, when you start heading up to Bessie Boot, which is checkpoint 1, I think it's flagged up to around this point here. That's what it says on the back of this piece of paper. I could be wrong. So Bessie Boot is checkpoint 1. So like I said, the area that I'm going to be recceing is Glaramara, and then I'm going up to Recce House Stone Shelter. Then I'm going to drop down to Styhead Tarn Pass, then up to Great Gable, and then the salient part of this section that I want to recce is from Great Gable to Honister Hause, and then up to Dale Head, and then coming off Dale Head back into Rosthwaite. However, depending on how it goes up here and coming down to Styhead Tarn, I might possibly drop down and save this part for another day. I don't know, because I've got a couple of weeks before the actual race on the 5th of August, and I don't want to overdo things, because I've just managed to get over all my niggles and I'm starting to finish runs without any aches or pains, which is quite nice. So all the strength work I've been doing is starting to pay off. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're just doing a shortened version of the full route, taking in Glaramara, Styhead Tarn, Great Gable, Honister Hause, Dale Head, and then back in. So I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to get on with it. Cool, let's go. up to the cairn on top of Bessie Boot. Check out that view, oh my word. So we're going to skirt around the second summit there, that's Glaramara. So we're going to somehow skirt around that, find a route around that. And then behind there, we're going to drop down into Styhead, which is over there. And that large prominent summit in the distance, in the far distance, that's Great Gable. Then we're coming off Great Gable, and that ridge line you can see in the distance, third ridge line at the back there. We'll be coming down that, and just behind the cairn there, you can see the squiggly path that goes down into Honister slate mines, or the Honister mines of sorts. So we're dropping down into there, and then up onto Dale Head, which is directly ahead of you there. And then off Dale Head, we're going to find our way back into Rosthwaite. The ascent up here was rather cheeky, a rather cheeky ascent. So yeah, after the initial first mile where you're just bombing it up through the flagged section, you're going to hit that ascent and oh my, rather cheeky. That was a rather cheeky ascent. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find some sort of decent line around that. Trying to figure out, actually let's drop out the wind and have a quick look at the map. So as you can see, we're at checkpoint 1, which is Bessie Boot. We're going to skirt around the western aspect of Tarn Leaves and then come up Rosthwaite Thwell to the eastern side of it, which is, just to the left there somehow. Skirt round, missing out the summit. I don't know if you can see too well, but it seems to be a very prominent rock up the top there, which I'm going to avoid. But I can just about make out a kind of line I can get up round there without going over the top of it. And then once we've gone round there, we're going to miss out the whole of Glaramara and somehow find a decent line across there. As you can see, that's hidden behind Rosthwaite Fell. But you can see the summit of Glaramara just up there to the left. Sorry, the right, my other left. We're going to miss out that completely. So yeah, we're going to do that now. Let's get on with it. So I'm just going to point out something to you, because I was just thinking as I was running along. I believe I'm taking a pretty decent line. So I've hit this fence line, which is marked on the OS map, as you can see on the insert that I'm putting up now. And you follow the fence line, I've been following the fence line. You come along here to this point, which is a small stile coming over, is at the top of Cam Crag, which features in one of my earlier videos of the hidden bothy at Woof Crag, Woof Caves, Woof Stones, I believe it is. So yeah, so you follow the fence line along here, hit the stile, and you just follow the small trod, and up through there we should skirt around Glaramara. So that's what we're going to do now. Yeah, so just to go over again, because I've just come from the stile, which is all the way over there. You might not be able to see it too well, but as you've seen, I've come down through this section here, and I'm just following this fence line, which is on the western aspect of Glaramara, skirting around the top of Cam Crag and all that sort of stuff. And I'm gonna pop around there now. Now I'm presuming, you know what the presumption is, as the saying goes. Yeah, well anyway, there's no need to say it, I think you know what I mean. I think I'm doing a decent line here and I'm following the correct route. This terrace, which is kind of like there's a kind of like terrace bit here. It's quite boggy. As you can see, you just follow this, as I've literally just shown you. And we're going to go up round there. Now, Glaramara is an absolute delight when the sun's shining, but when it's clagged in, it can be a bit tricky. So having prominent features like this fence line are quite good. Of course, on the day of the race, I should imagine there'll be quite a few people coming up through this way, so you can follow them if you really want to. But if the clag's in and you just find yourself on your own, you want some prominent features to be able to follow. So I think this fence line is going to be one of mine. Like I said earlier, quite often I'll do the race and I'll follow someone because I think, oh, they seem to be taking a better route than I took on my recce, and lo and behold, I find there was a much better line to be taking. However, these recce's get me out of the house, which is nice. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to see what is round here and whether I've come too low, whether I've taken a decent line. Yeah, we're just going to go around here now and check it out. Here we go. This is checkpoint 2. Oh yeah, so that was Glaramara. That's taken me 2.5 hours. So there is no cut-off for this checkpoint 2. The first cut-off is Styhead Pass, which is at 2:30. So that gives you 3.5 hours to get from the start around to there. So what we're doing now, Glaramara, that's about 5 and a bit miles coming around there. So that's a big chunk of the course, which I didn't really know, to be honest with you. So I think I took some decent lines. So, you all right, mate, you all right? I probably could have taken some better lines around there. I guess on race day we'll see what happens, really. So what I'm going to do now, rather than go up to Scarfell Pike, I'm going to cut down to Styhead Pass, and then we're going to bomb up Great Gable. Cool, let's go. Bringing back some memories. Oh, lordy. Oh, here we are coming up to the summit. Oh yeah. So, as you noticed, or as you no doubt have noticed, I cut it short. Like I said earlier, I might cut it short at Honister, and I decided I would actually. Time's getting on, niggles are starting to show again, and I've covered the ground that I really wanted to recce, if I'm totally honest, so there's no real need to really push it out. I've done 12 miles. That's a pretty good day, I'd say, and yeah. So rather than go up Dale Head, I decided to knock it on the head, and so I bombed it back down from Honister, Slate Mines, and back to the car. So yeah, that's today's run done now. Will I come back and do any more? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll come back and do Dale Head. I've got a couple of weeks, I think. What are we now? July 20th. I've got about 15 days until the race. So, of course, I'll be doing some training runs. So maybe I'll come down and do Dale Head. Cool. Okay, well, that's the run. Pretty much done today. I hope you enjoyed that. It wasn't a full route, of course. I've only covered the things that I needed. I hope it's been helpful for any of you watching who might be doing this race. And if it has been, then yeah, I'm glad it was. So yeah, okay, well, I'll knock it on the head, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next video. Cheers.